Hey friends. So I got my battle scars from yesterday's run up Sun Mountain, where I don't know how many of you would have seen my post, but I fell on the top of the mountain. Okay, get this. I got up the entire mountain, ran the whole way, got to the top where it's flat, and you're just running like over to the sort of technically the summit, because there's a kind of a rock there that seems to mark. It's where I always run to. And on my way from the place where it flattens out to that rock, I guess I had some tired and heavy feet that decided to not quite make it over a rock or two, and down I went. And I got a couple of little marks on my hands and arms, and I did jangle my shoulder. I've been kind of feeling it today and nursing it and trying to decide, trying to ascertain, like, okay, what did I do damage? What's really happened here? It hurt this morning, and I definitely banged it. It's not nothing, but it's also not super significant. It got better over the course of today. And I noticed that in the beginning of the day, you wake up in the morning and it's like everything's stiff, everything's kind of heavy, everything's kind of twingy. I did my yoga. I was able to do my yoga pretty much unimpeded. I don't do a lot of like arm weight bearing stuff, but then my day just started, and I got into a project today that was kind of a fun one. I was making a video about how to teach adult classical pianists, already trained classical pianists, how to improvise. And this is something that I've spent a fair amount of time thinking about. It's sort of the journey that I took myself from being a classically trained young person, and then later in life studying improvised music. And I just got excited about it. I started, I had to submit this video that's going to be 5 minutes, like exactly 5 minutes, not a minute longer. And so I started writing. I had an outline, started doing videos, started seeing how long it takes me to do them, started assessing, what am I really saying here? Like, is this actually good? What feels right? What feels wrong? I just sort of did it by iterating. I just did a ton of these videos. And little by little, I found my way to a kind of almost like perfectly 5 minutes long video, which was very satisfying. And it was, and it was like hours into that process that I realized I haven't thought about my body at all. My body has not inhibited me in this process, either creatively or physically, which was a relief, because I came home yesterday after the run and after shooting that video on top of the mountain, and man, I just felt like I had been dropped from the sky. I just felt beat up. My body felt beat up. I felt kind of emotionally beat up, psychologically. Everything was like, what is going on? Why am I being so rough on myself? And my beautiful, wonderful wife actually asked me that question. Why are you being so hard on yourself? Because as I said in my post yesterday, that I think probably the reason that I took that spill was not listening to my body. I was pushing, even I was pushing kind of all the way up the mountain. And then when I sort of thought, okay, I've made it, the stakes are off, is when I, wasn't paying attention enough to be careful, and all of a sudden, man, took a tumble. But what it felt like was I didn't care enough about myself to listen. And I think I don't think I'm the only person to ever have that experience. And, I really kind of took it in. It was something that, because of the way that it, I think that's the kind of thing that can happen as a matter of course in our daily lives, but we might hardly even notice it. It might just be kind of part of our habitual thinking process. But when it knocks you on your face and you literally run yourself into the ground, it registers. And so, I sort of had to deal with that a little bit. I kind of just had to sit with it, let it be what it was, and then let it go. Let myself let go of that urgent pushing. I've noticed something in my work with Annalise on violin. I've noticed many things, but two sort of co-supporting things, symbiotic things maybe, or I've noticed, for one, I have gotten less pushy about the work we do. I'm in a phase, let's just say, because I never know how long anything of this is going to last, but I'm in a phase where I'm sitting back a little more, and I had some sessions with her where I really realized I need to trust her a little more. She's growing up. She's getting smarter about what she's doing. I mean, she is sharper than a tack when it comes to music, and I'm starting to sort of see that and realize I don't need to say as much. I don't need to do as much. I'm holding space more and more for the process with her, and that's really the work. Second thing I'm noticing is her focus has skyrocketed. She's gotten, over the weekend, we played for almost 2 hours one day, and we barely took any breaks. We took a handful of breaks in there, but she just played one song after the next, and we worked on them, and we worked on the next one, then we worked on the next one, then we worked on the next one. I couldn't believe it. I wasn't even intending for our session to be that long. I was intending to do a little work and then kind of get on with our day, do something fun. But her enthusiasm for it, we found this thing where she would teach me the song. Like if I made a mistake on piano, or if she made a mistake in the song, sometimes I would sort of like lean into it and also, because fact is I also did have some work to do. I was working out all the harmonies for these songs, haven't really played them that much. And so she enjoyed the role of being able to play me the melody and have me copy her. She's like, shoes on the other foot now, Papa. But it worked great, and it meant that her focus and her staying power with it was just remarkable. I mean, it was truly probably nearly 2 hours that we spent. And today she went to her violin lesson and played like 10 songs in a row with spectacular focus. It was kind of remarkable. But I don't think that that's unrelated from the change in my own approach as well. And I'm saying all this because it's a world, it's a realm, it's clearly kind of significant activity in my life where I've observed that letting up, letting go, actually leads to greater success, greater joy, greater playfulness, and far greater effectiveness. So it's ironic that in my own physical exploration, I would have kind of missed the memo on that. But it's not unheard of. This is the way life is. We sort of get these messages across the domains of life where they're relevant, and sometimes we are able to apply them all equally and effectively, and other times we get the memo in one area of life and totally miss it in another area of life. And then we have to somehow wake up to it and sort of come back to it, stitch it all together. But I was encouraged that I felt okay today. I did not feel great. My shoulder does not feel great. My wrist does not feel great. But it doesn't feel all that bad. And like I said, I was able to pour myself into a kind of a fun creative project in a way that there was no impediment. My physical body, even though I have a little, it's even this thumb that's kind of swollen and not feeling so great, but it did not hurt me on piano. I was able to play normally. Nothing really sort of bothered me. And that felt good. That was exciting. That was good to feel. It was nice to be there. And so I suppose I'm clocking that for myself, both the lesson of yesterday and also the ongoing letting go and being kind to myself. Being as kind to myself, ideally, as I would be to my 5-year-old daughter. Right? This is a lesson that I feel like I've heard some teachers talk about. When we're looking at our beautiful child, our empathy, our love, our sensitivity, our listening is immediately activated. It's just everything in us wants to give our whole selves to them and be gentle with them and give them what they need. But our own inner child does not always get that treatment. Our own inner child gets a lot of kind of habitual, unconscious treatment. And so, that may not be who we are anymore, and it may not be who we are in the world. But as long as it's being directed at us from within us, that inner child can't get out, can't get free. And I think that's partly the pain I was feeling yesterday. I was like, I hurt myself again. I caused myself pain again. I was so rough on myself again. And I sort of felt for myself, if that's a thing. I felt empathy for myself. There's a part of me that felt empathy for another part of me. It's really interesting to observe. And I think hopefully it's movement in a healthy direction. So that's where I am today, folks. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.